Hi, I'm Michelle Kennedy, and this is Real Quick, a shortcast featuring an essay every day. Today, I have an oldie but a goodie, a revamped essay from my days writing a column for the Green Bay News Chronicle. I was a reporter, then later an editor for the paper, and I talked the guys, my managing editor and my editor-in-chief at the time, Warren and Tom, into letting me write a hopefully funny column every week. Back then, I had to wait a whole week to see my column published in the paper, and if I was lucky, someone might email me and tell me that they liked it. There was no Facebook back in 2000 to share a funny column to. My biggest hope of any kind of viral anything was syndication. The most fun I had was getting to read my column on a local radio show. The DJ there, Mike Walsh, liked my columns and invited me to read them on the air and take questions. Back then, I had only 4 kids, and it seemed like I was the old lady who lived in a shoe. Now, people think I'm so much crazier, and I am, I suppose, because I have 8 kids, and the stories just get more insane. However, the dream of reading my columns on the radio and now here on this podcast was actually part of the birth of the idea for this podcast. So I am forever grateful to Mike Walsh and my experience 25 almost years ago now, reading columns on the radio in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Since I am currently working on an anthology of essays, I am revisiting some of my older ones. Today's essay came up because I was in my garden early this morning, and I said the title to myself, a little mockingly and laughing, remembering how many times I've felt this way. The title of today's essay is Seed Catalogs, the Dream of Winter and the Promise of Spring and the Reality of Summer. I can already see where my garden is going to overtake me this year, but I'm going to lean in and embrace it like everything else I've tried to do these days. This is my slow year. I'm taking everything slowly, including this year's garden. Anyway, here is today's essay. Enjoy, laugh, plant a garden, and please comment, review, send a question, answer one, contribute an essay. My email is writermisha1313@gmail.com or visit my site, mishkennedy.com, and there are a variety of ways to contact me there. Seed Catalogs, The Dream of Winter, the Promise of Spring, by me, Michelle Kennedy. In the middle of the winter they come, 2, sometimes 3 at a time, and I am always very excited to see them. I take them in and I sit with them on the couch, beaming at them. There they are, the seed catalogs with beautiful, abundant covers. Covers that evoke promises of warmth and color, a welcome sight in the drab grays of January and February. I love my seed catalogs. Even though you will often find me scrolling my phone through seed catalogs too, and I will likely even order them online, I still love the printed version of the catalog itself. I still love a good catalog, even now. When I was a child, catalogs were the windows to other places. They came from everywhere. I'm not sure if, looking back, I was more excited for Christmas time because of the gifts or because of the anticipation brought forth in every catalog that arrived. The mother of all catalogs when I was a child was, did you guess it, fellow gen-xers? Yes, the Wish Book from Sears. I pawed through the Sears catalog almost every day, but when the Wish Book came, forget the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. The Wish Book heralded in the Christmas season where I was sitting in a tasteful 4-bedroom colonial on a budding cul-de-sac in Naperville, Illinois in 1978. I grew up in an episode of Stranger Things, at least the place where everything is right side up, whatever. But I'm a grown-up now, and while I have a very fond memory of perusing the toys and the games and the women's lingerie section of the Sears catalog, I now really look forward to the seed catalogs, and some of the ones with garden tools in them. There's also a catalog that only has greenhouses. I love that one, but it is a very limited interest catalog, to be sure. And I do love catalogs of all sorts still, but seed catalogs are different because they are not just filled with things that you buy. They are filled with promise and hope. The promise and hope of what, you ask? I am not sure exactly. Maybe that I'll find peace and serenity within by gardening, that my inner Martha Stewart will finally emerge and everything will stop always looking like a mess and my mother will finally be pleased with me. Perhaps. Each year, there seems to be no end to the amount and variety of seed catalog I receive. From gourmet kitchen vegetables to specialized tulip bulbs, I read them over and over. Their elaborate descriptions conjure the vision of ornate and Baroque gardens in my mind. This year, I think I will plant. I will dig and plant it all. The image is fixed in my brain. The driveway will be lined with weeping willows and welcoming perennials, staggered appropriately according to their flowering time, so there is always something in bloom. The front porch will have an amalgam of annuals, carefully chosen and constantly replaced, so there is always something seasonal with which to greet my guests. My backyard will begin with an arbor, a beautiful arch that will entrance both young and old alike and transport them into my personal arboretum. Walk with me. On the right is the vegetable garden, an immense vegetable garden bursting with plentifulness and veggies to be. Take off your shoes. We will walk along the well-mulched paths and pick the ripe fruits waiting to be coddled in my kitchen. Oh, a stray weed, you say, not to worry. We'll just pluck this lone stranger up and place him in the compost pile. No, not that one. It has the ready-to-use compost in it. Place it in bin number 3, I say, because I have even organized my compost that well. Leaving the well-worn paths of the vegetable garden, we trod through the newly mown plush grass to the kitchen garden. Just a little hobby of mine, I'll say. Here's where I pick the fresh herbs that will flavor our vegetables for supper. Before it gets cold, I will dry them and keep them for winter. The kitchen garden also harbors my small miniature vegetables, hot peppers that need special care, and maybe a variety of baby lettuces for an immediate salad at any time. Pick some of that rosemary, will you? And then I'll show you the pond. I overwinter the koi and plant water lilies to make it more beautiful. Have a seat under the weeping willow tree. I like willow trees. On the cedar bench I picked up at the craft fair and dangle your toes in the cool water. Nothing like a perfect summer day. Flash forward. It's May. I have spent the better part of a Saturday digging a pea patch. It's 3 feet long and 3 feet wide, maybe 3 inches deep. I'm sweaty and my hands are covered with blisters. I decide I need a tractor, but I continue on, determined to make my backyard a haven. 3 weeks later, finally finished with the digging, I have what now qualifies as a very small garden plot. I plant stuff, but I forgot to get those little seed stick thingies, so I forget what's where. Oh well, it'll be obvious soon enough. June has come. It was almost obvious what was up, but then a rabbit ate some of it, and I think some of it is grass, and now I can't tell. I bought some straw to put between the rows, and now the grass won't grow there anymore, but I can't remember which row was which. The mosquitoes are out. They love the little wet area I call my garden. I take to sitting in my garage and grilling burgers to keep them away. With a little paint, though, it could be nice in here. And didn't I read something about container gardening? By July, the garden is completely overgrown. I look at it occasionally. I pull a weed or two, but inevitably get distracted by bugs or the need for a cool drink. Also, the kids want me to take them to the beach, so how can I say no? In August, I find a couple of tomatoes without bug holes in them and some nice green beans. The rabbits ate the lettuce, but they can have it. Turns out lettuce is pretty cheap in August at the supermarket, and it's really cool in there. I drag some early fallen leaves and branches over to my idea of a compost pile. It appears that this is where the children have been leaving their watermelon rinds and apple cores. I think a family of skunks lives under there now. Fall has arrived, and the garden is turned under. Okay, I actually just threw a pile of leaves on top. My hopes for another gardening season have once again been dashed by my overzealousness and basically lazy nature. On the flip side, though, the garage is starting to really perk up. Thank you for joining me today for another essay. If you would like to contribute a comment, a question, or an essay of your own, please visit me at mishkennedy.com. I would love to hear from you. I hope you enjoy this beautiful day, wherever and whenever you are. As my dad always said, aside from if I get up out of this chair and you may be a pain, but you're not a window, if you wake up on the right side of the dirt, you still have a shot at a good day. So there's still a shot. Take it.